everyone. Hi, thank you very much for clicking on this video. Thank you for welcome to my book review videos. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm really happy and grateful to have you here. If we haven't met before, my name is Oyinda Molashosoya. I am a blogger, and I host a book club called the Bookmark Book Club. And I also work in business change and transformation, and I live and work in London. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, I'm really grateful to have you here. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe and like, and also share with anyone who you think who might like this. So before I just keep rambling on, I just also thought I would share why I do this. So I do this big review videos basically to share my love of books with people, and obviously to also encourage and motivate people to actually see that reading is an activity that they can enjoy. I'm always saying that one of my goals is I want people to feel that reading can be something that they do the way people Netflix and chill. What Netflix and chill should actually mean. So anyway. So today I'm going to be reviewing a book I read earlier on this month, and it's called Ikigai, and it's a book written by Hector Mirales. Why am I saying Hector Mirales? Hector Garcia and Francisca Mirales. I'm getting the authors mixed up. So it's written by two authors, and is basically about a concept called Ikigai. And Ikigai basically, roughly translated, means a reason for living, or your inner motivation for a specific or professional activity. So it's basically what the Japanese means is that your Ikigai drives what you do. Basically, they're saying what it roughly translates to is that Ikigai is an intersection of your vocation, your passions, your missions, and your profession. So basically, what you're good at, what your passions, so what you love, what you're good at, so your skills, the things that you're really skilled at. All of us are skilled at something. What you can be paid for, so what the world, as in what people will pay you to do, and also what the world needs. So basically, Ikigai is when you have a mesh of all of those things, and then you find out that you're living in your purpose. So a lot of people that's the sweet spot. When you have your mission, what you're passionate about, where your vacation is. I personally feel that all of those things are intertwined. People often make it seem like it's either or. It's not. I think it's more nuanced than that. There is a possibility that your profession might be what you're passionate about, but there's a possibility that it isn't. But basically, what this book is saying is that once you find your Ikigai, it allows you to be. It gives you a reason for living. So the book talks a lot about that, but it also then goes into longevity as well. So he did a really interesting study about not a city, but a province in Japan, in southern Japan, called Okinawa. And he actually kind of interviewed a lot of people who, so in that particular district in Japan, you have a large number of people who are over 100 years old. So they have the largest concentration of centenarians in the world. And that's really fascinating, is it? As in, you think, what is so spectacular about this particular part of the world that makes them live up until this ripe old age? And it's not just them living up until 100, they're healthy as well. A lot of them are really healthy. There was a particular part of the book where they were interviewing people at a particular community center in that part of Japan, and the person was like, oh, I'm the youngest person here, and the person was like 88 years old, and really feeling young. And I'm really intrigued by people who age in age but actually still able to keep their youthful fervor. And so what the book was trying to look at the things that contributed to that. So they interviewed those people in Japan, but they also spoke to a couple of other people. And one thing that I've particularly found intriguing was the fact that they said that a lot of these people is that once you have a reason for your Ikigai, there is often the belief that if your job is your Ikigai, you might never want to retire. And I found that intriguing because I know I've had a couple of discussions with people about this. When I say that I really don't think I ever want to retire. And when I mean that, I don't mean that I want to keep working forever. But I've always said, and I've always thought, and I hope, and I'm really praying that that is going to be the case in my life, is that even when I get to an older age, I will still want to contribute in a way. And I think older people contribute in a way one way or the other. They're taking care of their grandchildren, they're passing on things. I personally, and again, it goes to my deeply held belief that everyone has something that they contribute regardless of their age. Even children, we learn from older people. So I was really intrigued by that, and I actually resonated with that as well. it then went further to, you know, talk about why these people lived in this way and the common patterns that they found across all of these people that lived in that part of Japan, southern Japan called Okinawa. And it distilled it into 10 things, and I'm going to quickly run through those 10 things. It called the rules of Ikigai, but I'm just going to use that word loosely. So I'm going to read those 10 rules and just give you my thoughts as I go along. The first thing, and I think I've kind of alluded to it already, is the first secret, because as I said, the book is called The Secret to a Long and Happy Life. So it talks about purpose and all of that, but it also talks about longevity a lot. So it says the first thing that they found from all of those people that they interviewed was that stay active and don't retire. So once you give up, basically the idea is that people that give up what they love, you know, they lose their purpose in life, and that's maybe one of the reasons why maybe they don't live long. So it was saying that, so it keep doing things. They feel it's very important to keep doing things of value, making progress, bringing beauty to others, helping out, and, you know, just basically contributing to the world even after your official professional activity has ended. Because there is this belief that we only contribute. You know, a lot of people's sense of worth and identity is tied to their job or their job titles. So when their job ends, or they retire, they're like, okay, so what am I useful for? But there's still so much, like I said, that we bring to the world. And so that's one of the things that they talked about in the book. The next one was taking it slow. I personally feel that one of the gifts of 2020, and I know I'm not discounting the fact that it was a really, really difficult year for a lot of people. And even me in my personal and professional life, there were, you know, there were parts of it that were really difficult. But one of the gifts, because in everything, you know, we have to keep it perspective. So there were horrible things and there were also great things. I think one of the gifts of the pandemic was the ability to slow down. Just slow down and breathe. And that's one of the things that the book talked about when they were interviewing these octogenarians. They were saying being in a hurry is inversely proportional to a good quality of life. If you're always on the go, it's not really good for us. You know, it's a stressful way to be. So, and I know that not everybody has the luxury to be able to have that time to slow down, but you can slow down. As you know, you can be conscious about slowing down. So I am very conscious about slowing down in the evening and in the morning. First thing in the morning, I try. One of the things, if I have a rushed morning, it is a possibility I'm going to have a rushed day, a very stressful day as well. So try and slow down. Take opportunities within your day to slow down. Even it could just be, you know, in the afternoon. Just slow down and just try and listen to yourself. The next one, which I found really intriguing, was don't fill your stomach. So there's a concept that they were talking about in the book about the fact that in that Japanese province, they only eat till they're 80% full, and they don't eat until they have that full up feeling. And I found it really intriguing. And I've also actually, because I've been reading this book, been very intentional and started thinking about it to say, am I, you know, following the cues of hunger, following the cues, am I full? Do I really need to eat this more? Do I need this extra bite? And that's one of the things that they spoke about, you know, don't fill your stomach. We should listen, we should not stuff ourselves. It reminds me of another book I read last year called Mindful Eating, which says a lot of people kind of underestimate how much they're eating. Have you ever spoken to someone who's like, I eat healthy, I do all of that, but I'm still putting on weight? That's because a lot of us, and it's just like, but it's not like we're doing it, we're being horrible about it. We just underestimate how much we're eating. So one of the things that I've learned from the book was try and listen to those hunger cues, listen to when you're full. The next one, he said, is surround yourself with good friends. You know, friends that are the best medicine. You know, they're there for confiding, for having worries, sharing stories. You know, a lot of times people put a lot of premium on marital relationships or, you know, and those, they're great. But even at that, your partner should be your friend, or your husband or your wife should be your friend. But then people discount the amount of value that having good friendship brings. I personally believe a lot, and I've written about it a lot. I have blog posts on my blog about friendships. Friendships are really essential. So I'm always really worried about people who say, I don't have friends. You know, I'm not saying that you should have a multitude of friends, and it's not about the quantity of friends that you have, but the quality of friends you have. But what this thing, one of the rules and one of the secrets they found to those people who lived on was that they had good friendships. So cultivate the good friendships in your life. It takes work to cultivate friendships. I'm talking to myself here that I know that I could do better, and it's also something I'm trying to encourage you as well. Try and cultivate good friendships. The next one is get in shape and move more. When people hear move more, they automatically think of the gym. You know, they think of I have to go to the gym or I have to do this really, really intense exercises. One thing they found in the people of Okinawa was that they didn't actually exercise vigorously the way we, you know, you have like a HIIT session. Not that I'm saying there's anything bad in that. I love a good HIIT session. I love a good strength training session. But basically what they were talking about was that they move. And when they say that, when they talk about moving, they're talking about people who move their body like water, not just being static. We weren't meant to be sedentary. So what they're saying is most of these people had gardens. They would go for long walks. You know, they would go and see their friends. They would ride a bicycle. You know, they're moving their body. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's vigorous, but it's just moving their body. And it's something that I preach about a lot. Move more, you know, just don't sit down. It's not good for us. We're doing it too much. I'm doing it too much as well. And I've been very, very intentional about carving out time to go for a walk, stand up, you know, stretch. We need to move more. Smile. You know, it sounds really, you know, all of these things sound really easy, but they're not things that sometimes we think about. And sometimes you need to read a book for those ideas to be reinforced. They're things that we already know. It says you should have a cheerful attitude because it's relaxing. It not just only is relaxing for you, it endears you to others as well. And I'm not talking about fake smiling or fake being cheerful, but I'm talking about being genuinely having a cheerful spirit. The next one is reconnect with nature. You know, go into the park. I know a lot of us live in cities today, but there are still ways we can reconnect with nature. You know, you can have plants. I've got a plant here. I started, you know, again, pandemic made me, I'm surprised that it hasn't died yet, but it hasn't died yet. But, you know, just find ways to reconnect with nature. Go to the park if you live in a vicinity where there's park. I'm quite blessed that I've got park not too far from me. I've also got, I live not too far from where I can actually walk by the riverside and, you know, have lakeside walks. All of those things are things that I really, really feel privileged to have. So if you can have those things, take advantage of them, reconnect with nature. Nature allows you to put things into perspective. It allows you to say, do you know what? All of these things I'm worrying about are not necessarily that important. The next one is talking about always giving thanks, having a grateful spirit, finding something to be grateful about. You know, as I said earlier, this last couple of months or the last day or so has actually taught us a lot of things. There's a lot that has happened. I personally have, you know, had to deal with so many things. But in all, I think what has really kept a lot of us is being grateful, you know, being grateful for even some, there are days I'll be like, oh my God, I'll go into the shower and I'll be like, I'm so grateful that I've got hot water. You know, the ability to see something to be grateful about. I'll be eating something, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this, for the fact that I'm able to have this really lovely cup of tea. Be grateful for even the small things. The next one he talks about is live in the moment. You know, a lot of times, and I know this is really difficult for us to do sometimes, is we're worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. We worried about what happened yesterday. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. We all do that. But what it's saying is that if you spend more time living in the moment, you can't really do anything about yesterday. And tomorrow, yeah, it's really not within your reach, but you can do something with what you've got right now. So try and do something with what you've got right now. And the last one, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read it from the book. Number 10 is follow your Ikigai. There is a passion inside you, a unique talent that gives meaning to your days and drives you to share the best of yourself until the very end. If you don't know what your Ikigai is yet, as Viktor Frankl says, your mission is to discover it. So, as I said, it's talking about Ikigai. Basically, was just talking about this intersection of your passion, intersection of what you are skilled at, intersection of what you can be paid for, and intersection of what you can offer, what the world needs, not what you can, basically what you can offer the world or what the world needs. So all of those things kind of are the mixture of what make up your Ikigai. I found it a really, really fascinating read. I'm going to be giving rankings. So if I was going to give it a ranking out of 5, I would give it a 4 out of 5. And the reason why I didn't give it a 5 was because, as I said, it didn't really go, it did go a bit into it and did a bit of explanation, but it really was more veered towards the longevity study of, you know, those people in Japan and a couple of other people who are centenarians that have lived in other parts of the world. It talked about the blue zones, you know, those part of the world where you have people who tend to have longer lifespans, and that was really great. You know, that was different, but it's just that I had like a different mindset of when I was going to read the book. But all in all, I'll tell you that it's a brilliant read, very easy to read as well. So I think it'll be a really great book. So this is the book cover. You can you know, if audiobooks are more your thing, or not Audible, audiobooks, or if you know ebooks are more your thing, you can find it on Kindle as well. So yeah, that was my book review for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I've convinced you to be able to read the book. My video is a bit longer this week, and the reason why it is because I wanted to go through all of the last 10 rules of Ikigai. So even if you never read the book, you can actually take some salient points. I'm always telling people that I don't just want us to read for the sake of reading. Take salient points, and like I said, I don't just take salient points, apply them. And so like I said, one of the things, even if it's one thing, one of the things I've taken personally is being mindful of when I'm eating to when I'm full. So yeah, that's my book review for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share this with whoever you think you will find it useful. Really thankful to have you here. Like I said, please like, comment, please let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.